I used to be an emotions hoarder. I used to hold on to my emotions for too long, and this affected my mental health so negatively. It wasn't until I learned to express my emotions and let them out and let them rain, only then did I start to feel lighter.
Wolftelligence!
Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. On this episode, don't be an emotions hoarder like I was. And I used to be an emotions hoarder. I admit it. Hi, my name is R.E. and I used to be an emotions hoarder. And this was a big theme that I wrote about in my first poetry book, You Know Who You Are. And being an emotions hoarder and overcoming this and starting to clean my house, clean my mind, was a huge part of my mental health and self-love journey. And this all comes down to I used to suppress my emotions. I didn't used to express them. I suppressed them. I pushed them down. I hoarded them. If you think about a hoarder in their house, they have all this junk that they're never going to use, but they don't want to throw it away because they have some emotional connection to it. They have this baggage, but once you clean it out, you realize that you didn't care about any of that stuff. It's the same thing with your emotions. We have these emotions from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that if we don't deal with them, they're going to stay within us. We bottle them in, push them down, thinking they're going to go away, but that's the wrong technique because that is not going to make them go away. And suppressing your emotions, at least in my case, I tried to avoid the pain, try to avoid these painful emotions by pushing it down, but that's a huge mistake, as I can tell from my experience, is that it just started to add up. It just started to accumulate until you're basically just going to burst, and it's basically, are you going to deal with the emotions when they come up, when it's convenient, or are you going to wait to the point where they tell you when to deal with them and it's not convenient at all? And I know a lot of people, there's a completely different rant, but a lot of people say, I don't have the time, it's never convenient. No, you do have the time. You have every single second. You're just not always aware, as I wasn't always aware of my emotions and what was going on inside me until I looked within. And I've learned my lesson, and I try to share this with you and help you avoid this, help you avoid being an emotions hoarder. No matter how painful the emotion may be, it's never going to help to hoard it. So, as I say, let it out, let it rain, let it rain, let it pour from you. You don't need it anymore. Learn to express your emotions in a constructive way. And this is something that I never knew how to do. When I started doing this, letting out my emotions, it was often just through venting. And I noticed that that didn't really help me that much. So I started trying new things. Again, trying new things, pushing your comfort zone. Not things that people love to do because it's uncomfortable. Become comfortable with being uncomfortable. So some things that I did to help let out my emotions and clean my house, clean my mind, journaling. I'll always talk about journaling. Just getting your thoughts onto paper. You're not hoarding them in your mind. Getting your emotions out on paper. It's kind of just like taking them, going through your mind and writing them on paper, and it releases them, and you can feel that stress release almost instantaneously. Take it from my experience. Poetry, the same type of thing. A way to express your emotions in a constructive and creative way. Music, playing piano, singing, freestyling, anything like that. You're just having fun, free flowing it, and letting the emotions go, expressing them, and free flowing. And it could also be through art, painting, drawing. Again, anything that's creative, maybe sports, maybe exercise. Channel your emotions. Channel your emotions, your emotional energy into something that is productive, because it is not productive to hoard your emotions. Again, don't be an emotions hoarder like I was. Learn from me. Understand that this didn't help me at all. It actually hurt me in the long run. It hurt my mental health because I wasn't taking care of it at all. I was pushing it aside like it wasn't a problem, pretending that it wasn't a problem when it really was a big problem. So again, learn from my mistakes, being very vulnerable about this. Don't be an emotions hoarder like I was. Let it out, let it rain.